everybody, it's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. Also, welcome back after a very long hiatus that unfortunately was not expected. I knew that I would be going away, and for those of you who have seen my previous videos, I did warn you guys in advance that I would be gone traveling for the summer. However, I had planned to have videos up every Saturday while I was away, and in fact, I pre-filmed a bunch of videos to have up on my channel for each Saturday that I would be gone. However, there was some technical difficulties in me moving from North Carolina to Peru and then to Texas, and some of the footage did not get to Texas with me through all of my travels. I had filmed it on my camera, put it on a flash drive, tried to get it on my computer so it would all be ready for when I was traveling, but when I opened my computer in Texas to edit some of the footage, I realized that a lot of it was not there, and so I wasn't able to post any videos while I was gone, except for one, which was my Peru vlog, and I will link to that below. I'll be talking about it a little bit later, but that was the only video I was able to upload for you guys, so I'm really sorry about that. But I'm back now and I'm super excited. I will have a life update video up sometime, maybe hopefully next weekend, I'm not really sure, sometime for you guys, so that you can kind of see what I've been doing, what I've been working on, and where I'm at with what lies above, as well as some of my travel related things. Like I said, I will link to my Peru vlog down below, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later in the video. For right now, we are going to go on ahead and jump into the main content of today's video, which is my summer book haul. I have collected quite a few books this summer from various different booksellers and locations, and I have quite a stack right here that I want to share with you guys, and I'm really excited to show you quite a few of these. So without any further ado, let's jump in and get started. Alright, so these books are in no particular order. I am going to start with some that I bought recently. I actually got these today. I went to town. It's been raining for a long time here in the mountains, quite a few days now, and so I decided to go into town and go to some of my favorite booksellers, which if you guys have watched any of my previous hauls, you will know that there are two bookstores on Main Street in my little mountain town that are really awesome. They're independent bookstores, and I really love going there. I always find something new every time I go, and I just really like going and browsing the shelves. They are both used bookstores. They do have new books. One of the stores does have new books, but I really love going to look at all of their used books. There's always something new there to check out, and so I really love going there, and I decided I was going to stop by today, and so I did pick up a few books. They are actually all ARCs, which is really crazy. And before you guys kind of start wondering about bookstore and ARCs, you're not supposed to sell ARCs, I kind of want to explain that. No, you are not supposed to sell ARCs. And there's been a lot of discussion about that in the last few months in the book community, because there are people who are selling ARCs like the Wicked King ARC for like $400 on eBay, and just crazy stuff like that. And so I just want to say I'm against selling ARCs for profit. However, at the bookstores that I have in my town, these ARCs are actually either free or 50 cents if you buy a full price book, or some of them are just free. However, some of them are like 50 cents or $1, but that is because at that particular store, all of their revenue goes to the public library here, so it is a complete non-profit bookseller, and none of their employees are paid. They're all volunteers, and so none of the profit goes directly to them. So that 50 cents or $1, whatever, is actually just a donation to the library, which I think is really awesome. So I get an ARC pretty much for free in exchange for a donation to support the library, which of course I am a huge supporter of libraries. I grew up on them and I think they're awesome. So it's kind of a win-win situation, but I just want to throw that out there before we got started so that you all wouldn't think that I had bought these for like, $10 or $20 or whatever at a bookstore like a normal book. It is just a very small amount of money that is donated. So with that out of the way, let's jump in and get started. Alright, so one of the books that I got today was at one of my favorite bookstores, and again, it is an ARC, but it is going to be a surprise until I open it, because it was in this very cute little package whenever I bought it, and I just really love the little wrapping that's on it. It says Eat, Sleep, Read, which I think is really cute, and I just like the bag, so I want to show you guys that first. But the book that I have in here is Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver, and like I said, this is an advanced reader copy, and this was released in March of 2012. So another thing I wanted to say is that all of the ARCs at both of these stores are really old. They're like like 2012, 2013. Some of the books I have are from 2016, but there are no ARCs at either of the stores that are any later than 2016 unless they are in the free ARCs pile. So none of the books that are 50 cents are with recent release dates. But I did pick up Pandemonium. I don't have Delirium, but I really want to read this series, and I really love ARCs. I kind of have like a collection. I have very few right now, but after the last few days, I now have quite a few, and I'm really, really excited, and I am planning to read this. I think this premise sounds really unique and really cool, and so I cannot wait to dig into this one. So the next thing that I have in this package is this book mail, and I'm covering up the address because I don't want you all to be able to see who sent it to me, but it was actually from Bookish Wish, which if you all don't know what that is, it is something that's going around on Twitter right now where people are leaving their wish list for books that they wish that they had, whether it be an ARC or a full copy or maybe like a special edition, and they're leaving it on Twitter with the hashtag Bookish Wish, and random kind-hearted people are sending them copies of those books, either buying them or sending them their own copies, and then that person can have that book because it's kind of like granting the wish is kind of how it's being talked about, and there's a lot of like fairy godmothers that are going around and giving people their wishes, and it's really awesome. And I think just seeing the book community do this for each other is really amazing, and there's so many kind people that are willing to share their resources and funds and share off their own bookshelves to fulfill people's wishes. And I actually had a really awesome person that fulfilled my wish, and I actually commented on the very original post that started the whole Bookish Wish hashtag, and it was when it first started, one of the first days after it was posted, and I commented on it and said that if there was a book that I wanted to have, it was an ARC of Splintered Silence by Kayla Olson. And I only put that one book there. I think the original post said something like, comment with an ARC or full copy that you really, really wish you had, and maybe someone who has it could share. So I commented with that, and somebody commented back and said that they had that book and would love to share it. And I actually am going to be doing a thank you post on my Twitter with her Twitter handle and everything, if you want to go check that out. But I'm going to show you all the ARC that I got, and I'm so excited because this is my #1 anticipated release of 2018, and it does not come out until, I believe, November, and I was like, I just don't want to wait that long, and I didn't think I was going to get an ARC because I tried to track down one on every giveaway possible for these ARCs, and I never got one. So I'm so happy that I finally got it, and that very kind person shared this with me and is allowing me to keep it for my own collection. So here it is, this Splintered Silence by Kayla Olson, and it says Advanced Reader's Copy down there, and I am just so excited to read it. It sounds so amazing, and for those of you who don't know, Kayla Olson is the author of The Sandcastle Empire, which is one of my favorite books. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and I just enjoyed it so much. And when I heard that she was releasing another book, I could not wait to read it. And so I'm so happy that I have an ARC, and I am going to be reading this one very soon. Alright, so the next few books are not ARCs. I do have some more ARCs that I'll be sharing later, but these are a few books that I actually bought while I was in Texas. For those of you who do not know, I spent quite a few weeks in Texas visiting family this summer, and I actually just got back recently. I've been in the mountains for a little bit, but I was in Texas for a few weeks, and while I was there, I went to a Half Price Books, and I also went to this little independent bookstore there that was having like a 50% off sale or something that day, and I got quite a few books, so I'm going to be showing you guys some of those next. One of the books I got there was The Selection by Kiera Cass. Surprisingly, I do not own any of these books, although if you guys follow me or have been following me for a while, you'll know that I actually do not own that many really popular series because I'm very behind on pretty much every series that everyone else loves. But I know that everyone loves and raves about The Selection. They say it's one of those books that you just fly through, and it's just so enjoyable and fun to read, and so I wanted to give it a shot, and so I picked this one up at that sale because it was half price, and I thought, why not? Let me give it a try. Another book that I got at that half price bookseller was Prodigy by Marie Lu. This is the second book in the Legend trilogy, and I have read Legend, and I I absolutely loved it. It was another 5-star read, and I read it until like 3 a.m. in the morning one day, and I just absolutely devoured it. I loved it, and that book ended on a plot twist, and so I'm really excited to pick up Prodigy, and I also got Champion while I was there as well. So this is the second and the third book in the trilogy. I'm really excited to pick these up, and I also think Champion has a gorgeous cover, which I'm very excited about. And so I'm happy I now have all 3 books in the trilogy, and I can finally finish this series, which I really, really loved. Alright, so another book that I got at that particular bookseller was Sold by Patricia McCormick, and I have already read this book. This is the first one in this pile that I've already read, and I have my review up on Goodreads if you're interested in seeing it. I will be doing a summer book wrap-up towards the end of the summer, where I will talk about all the books I've read this summer and tell what star rating I gave them and all of that. But I do have my Goodreads link linked down below in the description box if you want to go and check out my Goodreads page. I review every book that I read, and so this was one of the books that I have read this summer already, and I loved it. That's all I'm going to say about it, because you can go read my full review because I had a lot to say about this book. This book was so moving and emotional and horrific all at one time, and it just really, I think everyone should read it in the sense that it really opens your eyes to real issues that are going on in the world. If you don't know, Sold is about a girl who gets trafficked in Nepal, and it was just horrifying, but in a way that I think everyone should be aware of. I absolutely devoured it. I read it all in one sitting until the wee hours of the morning, and again, I would recommend it to everyone. I will talk more about it in my wrap-up because there are some content warnings I want to talk about, but if you want to see my full Goodreads review, again, the link is posted down below in the description box, so you can go check that out. And then at that bookstore, I also got an ARC out of the ARC bucket. There was a bucket by the door that said, "Free ARCs, please take one." And I found The War Outside by Monica Hess, or Monica Hesse, or Heese. I honestly don't know how to pronounce her last name, but this is an ARC for a book that is releasing in September of this year, and it is about the Japanese and German internment camp in Texas. A lot of World War II, like internment camp novels, tend to focus on the Holocaust and on concentration camps in Europe, but this one focuses on one in Texas, and so this is a young adult version of the book The Crystal City, I think it's called, which is an adult version of this story. And so it sounded really good, and it was an ARC, and I actually have started this, and I'm not going to get too much into what I think because I'll cover that more in my wrap-up, but I actually am not sure that I will be finishing it. It just wasn't really for me so far, but we will see if I continue it or if I decide to give it away. As of right now, I think I'm going to try to trade it or give it away, but we shall see. So the next book that I want to share is one that I actually did not buy. I got it for a book study that I was supposed to do at a church that I was visiting in Texas. However, I was not able to go to the book study because I decided to leave Texas a little bit earlier than I had originally planned, and so I just took the book with me so that I can hopefully read it while I'm here in North Carolina, and that is called Closer Than a Sister by Christina Fox, which is a Christian nonfiction book about female Christian friendships, and I'm not sure what else it's about other than that. That was the theme of the book study, or the Bible study, was how Christian girls and women can grow closer together and form those sister-like friendships in Christ, and so I'm really excited to read this one, and I'm probably going to actually read this because I have a second copy. I'm probably going to read this with my roommate and some of my other really, really close friends, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, the next book is one that I am really excited to share with you guys. When I got it, I actually put up a post on Twitter sharing it because I was so excited to have found it, and I think that it was really like a needle in a haystack gem find because I was in this very old antique store in Texas on like what their equivalent is, I guess, of the main street, like the downtown of where I was at, and I went into this old antique store and there was a antique book section and also like a rare or special edition section, and so I was looking through the books there, and they had a lot of really, really old books and really unique books, and while I was there I found this, which is a special edition of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. It's the collector's edition, and for those of you who do not know, The Hunger Games is probably hands down my #1 favorite series ever, and so when I saw this I was so excited. It has a really pretty, it's like in its own box, which is really pretty, with an embossed Mockingjay on the front, and then you slide the book out. That's what the spine looks like. It's silver, and you slide it out, and it is all also embossed on the hardcover with a silver arrow, which is super pretty. And then the pages are like, I think this is called beveled, maybe? It's like where the pages are really uneven, which I really love. And the Hunger Games, guys, it's time for me to reread these. So I think I'm going to reread it in my special edition for the next time that I read The Hunger Games, because I've only read the series one time, and since it is my favorite, it is definitely time for me to reread them. So I'm super excited to have this collector's edition, and it will definitely be featured up here with my other Hunger Games books, and you guys will probably see it on my shelf in a future video. So the last 3 books that I'm going to be sharing with you guys are also ARCs, and I actually bought these today at that one bookstore that I was telling you guys where the revenue all goes to the library. So all of these books were like $1, I think, or $1 donation to the library, and then I got each of these ARCs. One of these you guys actually might be kind of surprised that I found, because it is actually a very sought after ARC, and even though it was released in 2016 and none of the books that they had at this bookstore were like future releases or books that hadn't come out yet, like I said, all of them are pretty old, at least 2 years old. Even though this book was released a few years ago, it is still highly sought after, and so I'm very surprised that I found it, especially because I live in a very tiny mountain town, so it was strange to have found it here, especially since it was in a very old little bookstore. However, I am excited I found it. I probably would not have picked it up if I hadn't seen it as an ARC, because I don't know if it was really a type of book that I would immediately have been interested in. However, I looked it up at Goodreads at the store, and some of my Goodreads friends have said it was amazing. It has really great reviews, and I have heard quite a lot of buzz about it, and like I said, a lot of people are really wanting the ARC for this book, so I thought it does sound funny and interesting, and I will give it a shot. And that book is My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. Like I said, this ARC is kind of sought after a lot. Like, I see it on ARCs for Trade and Books for Trade a lot. A lot of people are looking for it, and this ARC is in pretty pristine condition. I mean, it looks like maybe somebody owned it before, but the front isn't even bent that much, so it's in really great condition. And like I said, it is an ARC of this book, and it was released in June of 2016. I know that the second book, as the companion novel to this, has already come out, I'm pretty sure. I think, maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but I think there is a companion novel to this that has already come out, so like I said, it's kind of older, but it sounds really funny, and everyone said it's like a really lighthearted historical twist on Lady Jane, the historical Lady Jane, and so it sounds fun, and it is a pretty large book, so it will keep me satisfied for a little while. But I am excited to read this one. If you guys have read this book, please comment down below and let me know what you thought. I would love to hear, because like I said, I wasn't 100% certain, but when I saw it, I thought I would give it a shot. So let me know what you thought down below. Maybe I'll bump it up a little bit higher on my TBR if you guys loved it. Okay, another ARC that I got today was Riders by Veronica Rossi, and actually, fun fact, my CP Abigail, this is one of her favorite books, which is the reason that I got it, because I knew that she really raves about it, and she really liked this one, and she said it was one of those books that she wished more people knew about. So when I saw this, I thought I should pick it up and give it a shot and trust her word for it. So I'm going to, I do know the general premise for this book. It's like someone gets kind of like almost not reincarnated, but he like dies and comes back as one of the horses of the apocalypse, I think is the premise for it. So I'm not sure that much about this book, but I'm gonna trust Abigail's word for it and give it a shot, so I will see how this one goes. And last but not least, my final ARC that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and the final book from my stack, is The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. And again, this is also an ARC, and it was released in 2016, and it is actually the second book in like a series or a trilogy, or maybe it's just a duology, after The Wrath and the Dawn, which is the first book that came before this. And I've heard so many good things about The Wrath and the Dawn. This cover is absolutely beautiful, and I really want to read Flame in the Mist, which is also by Renee Ahdieh, and so I thought I would read her prior books first and read The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger, and then I could jump into Flame in the Mist and see how that one is. And this one just looks really interesting, gorgeous. It says that it has really lush writing and a really interesting, I think it's inspired by like 1,000 Nights or some kind of like Middle Eastern fantasy, so I'm really excited to read this one. I do need to get The Wrath and the Dawn first before I can read this one. Actually, a few of the ARCs that I got, I need to get the first books in the series before I can read them, but when I read The Wrath and the Dawn, I will have this one ready to go. Alright, so there we have it. all of the books that I have recently bought this summer. I did buy actually quite a few books before summer that I never did a haul for, but a lot of them will be included in my summer wrap-up, so I will share those then. But these are all the ones that I have bought within the last few weeks over the summer, and so I have a lot of books on my TBR now. I have been doing pretty well actually on reading this summer. I read I think 5 books or 6 books so far this summer, and I hope to read some more, but I've also been reading my CP's manuscripts, 2 of my CP's manuscripts, and a very long manuscript for one of my published author friends, which hopefully will be a forthcoming novel for her. I'm not sure if she's sold it yet. I don't think she has, but I'm currently reading that, and I'm on page 100 out of 526, and I absolutely love it so far, so hopefully it will sell so that all of you guys can enjoy it as well. But I've been reading that along with 2 other CP manuscripts. So aside from the books that I physically have on my TBR, I also have those, which don't count for like Goodreads challenge or anything like that. So I've been doing a lot of reading, and I'm really excited about that because I don't get to read very much during the school year. So I'm glad that I have all of these, but I'm not sure how long it's probably going to take me to read them all because I now have my hands full with all of these books as well as the ones that I already have on my shelf, because I have 2 full shelves on my bookcase behind me that are full of TBR books. So I'll probably have my hands full like the next 2 years. Alright, that is all for the book haul portion of this video. Before I let you all go, I do want to show you 2 things that I got from Peru, and I actually wanted to share a bunch of the things because I got a ton of things while I was in Peru. I got gifts for a lot of my family and friends, and then I also got quite a few things for myself that you will probably see on my little knick-knack shelf, and then if I ever do a trinket video in the future of like trinkets on my bookshelf, I will definitely be sharing those. However, I decided to just stick with showing you guys 2 things that are really special that I got. So without any further ado, let's jump in. Alright, so one of the things that I got while I was in Peru was this blanket that is actually made from baby alpaca fur. And actually, ironically, all of us that went on the trip got one of these blankets, which I thought was really cool, but they all have different patterns and they were all in different colors, which I thought was really just unique and fun. But I can understand why all of us got one because they are so soft and it is very warm, and I actually had to spend the night in the airport coming back from Peru, and it was like 6 or 7 hours, and it was freezing in the Lima airport, so I had this blanket thankfully to help me keep warm while I was waiting on our flight that got delayed. So I'm very grateful that I did end up buying this, but I thought that it was just super beautiful, and again, it is made from baby alpaca, so it's really soft, and I just wanted to show you guys that because I thought it was really cool and unique. And then the second thing that I got is actually not something that I bought. It was something that I was given, and it's more of like a sentimental thing that I have that I am really glad and blessed and grateful for having. And it is this little poster that I cannot pronounce this, but I will try. I think it is pronounced Napaku. Okay, I can't pronounce that at all. I totally butchered that. But this is a Quechua word that means welcome or hello, and Quechua is the indigenous language, or one of the indigenous languages in the Andes Mountains, and I actually got to go to an indigenous village in the Andes Mountains. But this is not where that poster came from. This came from a different school in Lima, and when we went, the children had made some posters for us. One of them said welcome in English, one of them said hello in Spanish, and then we had this third one which says welcome in Quechua. And one of the little kids came up and gave me this poster, and so I decided to keep it because they handmade these, and it's just a sweet memory of all the little faces that were greeting us when we came to the school. And so I decided that I was going to keep this and hang this up in my room so that I could always remember my trip to Peru because it was absolutely amazing. And like I mentioned earlier, I have a Peru vlog that I made and already uploaded, so if you want to see that, I'll link to that down below. You guys should definitely check that out. I had an amazing time, and there's some awesome footage on that vlog of Machu Picchu and a bunch of other archaeological sites that we went to in the mountains, as well as the Quechua village we went to and some other schools, and just some really amazing shots that I was able to get while I was there. So definitely go check that out. It will be linked down below. Alright everybody, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I will have a life update and writing update video up soon, as well as quite a few other videos that I now have the footage for, so I can edit and upload those for you guys in the near future. If you want to connect with me, all my social media is linked down below, as well as the link to the Peru vlog and my Goodreads review page if you want to check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!